Good morning, good morning, good morning. Can you guys hear me okay out there? Looks like we got Mark Sullivan. Strangely enough, I am even more confident today than I was a month ago that Klein coughed up info on Delphi. And even stranger, I hope I am wrong. What's up, Night Shadow? Night Shadow says, I don't think Richard Allen was a lone wolf. I have not yet made up my mind really about any of this. I'm going to keep an open mind. When I think Richard Allen's involvement or no involvement, I think of reports that he was a heavy drinker. He sober when he was walking the trails, looking at fish, etc. Does he remember what he did? It's interesting. Blackout moment. Good morning, Anna. Good morning, Miss Thang. Willow Rain. Hi, Sleuth. Or hi, Jill. Saying, "Hey, Sleuth." Good morning, Melissa. Let me pull this up in the screen, and I'm gonna go grab my coffee. I left it downstairs. But I think this is a good place to start our conversation this morning. I thought it was very interesting. And I would love to talk to this person after finding out about Richard Allen. But let me pop this up on the screen for you guys, and then I will be right back. Okay. Melissa K, what's up? Happy Wednesday, Marlo, Jari, Lisa. Wondering if he lost weight in 6 years, depending on how heavy alcoholism. Yeah, his weight has seemed to fluctuate. You can see his neck. Like it's all slimmed down in those Facebook photos where he's hiking and seems like he's very active. And then maybe during his alcoholic periods, he's overweight. But I don't know. I know some people who lose weight when they're drinking a lot, and then I know some who gain weight. So it's really strange. I think it depends on what he's drinking. Kelly, what's up? Lakeside, good to see you, Lakeside. How are you? Michelle. Phil, what's up? Railroad, what's good? Always good to see you. Rhonda, good morning. Hope I didn't miss much. No, we're just getting started. You haven't missed anything. I just barely put this up here on the screen. Yeah, this is something really interesting. Yeah, good topic for conversation. Good way to start the stream. But I need to go grab my coffee, so I'll be right back. I just want to kind of catch up on the chat. Mark says, why were investigators able to find a small item buried in his yard? Because he told somebody. And why was he able to remember what he was wearing years later? Yeah, that's a good point. Like, why would he even think about it? Well, I guess he might remember if he knows that he was there and he admitted to it. But if he's innocent, it probably made him feel like he could become a target, maybe. Maybe it was on his mind for a while. I don't know. Great point. Alcoholism can make a person look puffy, I think. All bloated and shit. What's up, Kevin? All right, I'll be right back, guys. Give me like 2 minutes. Here, I'll even play a little tune. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I was just looking forward to this coffee way too much to just leave it sitting down there. Do you ever have one of those mornings where you just don't want to get out of bed? Like your mind is trying to get you out of bed. A little banana, some coffee to start the day. All right, what I miss? Rhonda says, "Get your Joe." Yeah, black coffee's my favorite. Boston says, "Did this just start?" Yes, it did. I just had to run and get some coffee real quick. Good to see Boston, Judy, Rhonda, Indy, Pam in the house. What's up? All right. So just like we do pretty much every morning, until this case gets completely solved and they can close the books forever, we're going to continue to look at this case. Don't know why it's so important to all of us. I have a feeling it's the darkness that's involved. I know that's kind of grandiose kind of thing to say and kind of strange, but what else could it be? What else is drawing all of these people? I mean, you've seen Kelsey. She's like, what the hell? I don't know what the hell's going on with this case. People are just drawn to it. They're obsessed. And she's right. And when you really look at it, it's kind of embarrassing. But then at the same time, you're like, well, what causes it? Like, why am I obsessed? We're obsessed because we don't want it to be us. We don't want this to happen to us. First, we're shocked. How could this ever happen to anybody? Okay, it's fake. You even had people that were like, no, this is fake. It's a conspiracy. Your brain goes to really strange places to try to protect you and keep you from like fears and certain things. So there's people that even went to that place. They're like, the girls were never even at the trails. It's a conspiracy. They're still alive in Canada. I can't, something like that. There was a lot of weird stuff going on around the first 2 years of this case. Some strange happenings. Lala One Fogo, what's up? Richard Allen would have been insane to unalive the girls and even more insane to cross that bridge drunk. I don't know. Some people get like a boost of energy. Like me, if I take a shot of whiskey, it's like I'm gonna have more energy than I would from that whiskey than this cup of coffee. So some people get a boost, and then some people it might put them right to sleep. Could be vice versa, depending on the day, what they've done, how tired they are. It really depends. Some people get energized and they get a little bit of courage. So I don't know. Maybe being drunk, it might have made it easier for him. Anna says some people are high functioning drunks. They manage better in life when they are drinking than when they are not. I mean, I really wouldn't call it high functioning drunk. I don't think there's a such thing as that, but I think they just get to a point. If they stop drinking, they'll get sick. It's like they've hurt their body or trained their body so much to need it. They can't just stop. Julianne, what's up? Michelle says, at Lisa, I'm wondering and considering the whole Shaq movie thing. Could be a way to get Richard Allen to break. Yeah, because that movie's about forgiveness. And they weren't referring to the book, I don't think, because he goes, what does Doug Carter say? He says, I think he says, I once saw a movie, right? Shaq. And then he says, there's also a book. But he's not talking about the book, the Shaq. He's talking about a book as in the Bible. He says, and there's also a book that talks about eternity. So he's telling the guy, like, look, I understand. Maybe, but why would they say this? If they didn't have like a solid profile, why are they using like all these words that are kind of designed to manipulate the person that the unknown perpetrator? Crossing the bridge drunk. Yikes, no thanks. Tina says, I think KK made a deal a long time ago. I believe he beat Richard Allen to it. I mean, I don't know for sure. It could all just be coincidental. But I mean, the timing, and if you were literally to just time everything out perfectly from the point that Keegan Klein got arrested, right? They pressured him. They didn't let the public know about Anthony shots at all. They knew Keegan did it. We know that because of the timing from his arrest, his first interview, and his second interview. And his second interview, we have a transcript, and they constantly talk about the first interview and some of the things that were said and done in that interview. So from that point, it's all dominoes. We know that with Keegan Klein's conversation with Barb McDonald, he said that law enforcement came to him and said, hey, you need to tell us what's going on here with Anthony shots and how it's connected to the Delphi murders. You need to start talking, or we're going to release this information to the public. He said, go ahead. I don't care. Okay, so they released it to the public and didn't mention Keegan's name. They wanted people to dig after him. They wanted people to ruffle some feathers. They used us. This is a great example of law enforcement and investigators using social media and the public as a tool. Sorry, dogs are going crazy. I think my wife opened the garage or something. Yeah. Thank you, V. I appreciate that. Okay, where was I? Oh, okay, pressure campaign. So they're using the Anthony Shots account and they're threatening him. They're saying, "Hey, look, you're not cooperating with us. We're trying to help you out. We know you didn't do it, but we know that you know who did it." I mean, they're saying these things directly to him. And he's like, "I'm not going to budge." They're like, "Okay, we're going to drop the Anthony Shots information." He says, "Go right ahead. I don't know anything. I don't know why you're doing this to me. I don't know anything." Boom, late at night. I think it was like 10 p.m. Eastern time. The bulk of social media bloodlusters, when they're walking those YouTube streets, boom, right there on the big screen, right in the middle of downtown. On them YouTube streets, they drop Anthony Shots. No mention of Keegan Klein. Well, guess what Barb does? She kind of slips through there and she's like, "Oh, I figured it out. I know who this is. It's Keegan Klein." She interviews him. During the interview, he explains what happened and that somebody in Texas, one of his, and why would he mention anybody? The only person that matters to him is somebody in Texas. Isn't that strange? He's like, yeah, a friend in Texas. Well, I think another thing that might be strange is that out of everybody, somebody from Texas felt the need to reach out to him and say, hey, man, like you're all over the news. So he makes mention of this in the interview with Barb McDonald. He says, hey, yeah, my friend from Texas says you're all over the news. So now here's the pressure campaign. From this point on, you have YouTubers, local media, national media, the murder sheet, trying to put all this pressure on Tony Klein and how the interview points to that guy. Nothing really points to him, in my opinion. Yeah, him being right there, yeah, he's a person of interest. Not in the crime, but in a theory, in a Keegan Klein theory, he's definitely an interesting person. Evidence wise, nothing. In my opinion, absolutely nothing. So all this information is looking at other people using the account, right? They're using forensic techniques to make that decision. It's not just on a whim. They're like, hey, look, we know you're not using this. They've pulled forensics from all of his devices. He's been catfishing since 2014. He's been reaching out through the Anthony Shots account since 2016 and made contact with Libby early February. Now, we all know that story. We know everything that happened from them doing the search warrant when they got back from Las Vegas. They didn't arrest him for whatever reason until August 19th of 2020. So he gets arrested. They place the pressure campaign on him. Nothing happens. Then all of a sudden, they yank him. They pull him out of Carroll County custody and into the custody of Indiana State Police. And they seal all information relating to Keegan Klein. They seal it completely. And they file documents, confidential. Everything will be confidential. And we have sources that are coming out saying that Keegan Klein accompanied ISP directly to the Wabash River. Okay. Pointing, that's what they do. This is very important to us, Keegan. We need you to come out here and you're going to tell me exactly, if you want this deal, we have to find what it is that you're telling us we will find. Now, they poured all these resources into this. And why would they do that if they weren't convinced? Okay. So Keegan Klein goes back to Carroll County. 5 weeks later, they conclude the search. This search that apparently was at the direction of Keegan Klein. It's over. 5 weeks go by. 2 weeks from that moment, they go and interview Richard Allen. They say, hey, man, we suspect you. And then I believe it was 2 weeks from that moment is when they made the arrest, or maybe even less than that. So it's 2 weeks from the search. They're on Richard Allen. And then a week and some days, he's arrested. So exactly the amount of time it would take to pull forensics off of anything they found as far as a phone. And then we also know that Fig told us that some people that he was communicating with told him that, yeah, they found a phone. It was a phone. He said they're backing off of that now. Maybe they need that information to be hush hush. I'm not sure. But if you just look at the timeline, the search concludes. 2 weeks later, they're talking to Richard Allen. A week after that, he's arrested. Okay, so I'm thinking if you just watch those dominoes fall, I just don't know. Is Richard Allen is he gonna fall? According to his charges, it doesn't seem like he did this alone, or I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure yet on how those charges read. I'm still confused, honestly. All right, let's zip on down here. Who are we missing? Hey, Copper, what's up? Slatherings. Some are drawn to mysteries. Yeah, it might be an ego thing too. Like, oh, I'll figure this out. Exactly, adrenaline junkies. Yeah, adrenaline junkies are a real thing. There could be an iceberg underneath this one. I think there might be. Or just multiple points of corruption, even. Hey, what's up, Cold Truth? There's also a book that talks. You said it, and as I was typing, I think he was talking about the Bible as well. Yeah, because he says it's a book that talks about eternity. You know, he's trying to tell this guy, like, look, man, like you may have screwed up in this life and what you did, but there's always retribution. And also the fact that he was talking to him about the Bible made me think that he knew that this was a Christian person or somebody who followed the Bible or had some interest in it. So why would they think that? Is it the non-secular stuff? Something found at the crime scene that leads them to believe that this person is a Christian, religious, or anti-Christian? Something along those lines? Lala says, does anyone know if KK pleaded guilty to the CSAM of very small children in his 2020 interview? I believe he should. I know he acted disgusted, but people like him have been able to, they could probably win like Oscars and Academy Awards for the way they act in front of other people. They've been learning how to act since childhood. I don't know if I would include the word genuinely. I'm not sold on that part, I guess. Chopper, what's up? Slatherings. What if there were a couple of criminals that were each making laps, swapping the other layer of clothing so it always appeared to be the same person? That doesn't seem realistic to me. If anything, they would have just said, "Hey, let's all just dress the same." I mean, that's a lot of work. Once it comes out, but honestly, I don't know. It is possible. I mean, who the hell kills two girls? If you're out there killing two innocent children, who knows what the hell you're doing, you know? You could be wearing shoes on your hands for all I know. Fucking walking out there on your hands. Honestly, I really don't know. What would possess somebody to do that? And then how do you calculate what the hell else they're doing? Has anyone been able to confirm whether that Doolin guy, the conservation officer? Well, I don't know. See, this is the thing. People look up a conservation officer, and Dan Doolin is the most popular conservation officer in that area. So he's going to be the first one that pops up. You know, nobody's going to go an extra layer. He's the guy, the most popular one. And he could be. I mean, we see people trying to tie him to all this other corruption, making all these grandiose stories about it. So who am I to say what's what? Not okay to accuse the family, okay to accuse random people with very little evidence. So there's a very fine line. You can only accuse people that I want you to accuse. Everybody else is off limits, okay, guys? Copper Horse says DC, as in Doug Carter, was trying to appeal to the consciousness of guilt in the killer, as he worded it, like, if you have 1 ounce of humanity left. Yeah, and he like put his fingers up, like he was super aggressive. He's like, even if you got 1 ounce left, like, you piece of shit, motherfucker. Like, it was kinda angry. He, like, threw his hand up all quick, and he's, like, holding his hands kinda shaking. I was like, "Damn." Good morning. Good to see you, Fig. How's everything going? You grinding it? Grinding it out? ACN. Michelle, yes, says, if I was Richard Allen's daughter and saw that photo of myself on the bed, I would be so grossed out. I'm sure she is. I'm sure she is. Cut her some slack. Growing crazy. What's up? Is it easier now to put KK in witness protection since he pled guilty, I wonder? Well, the thing is that case needs to be over for him to participate in the Delphi case, especially if they're unable to tie it all together. So I think shortly after his sentencing, if he has any involvement, that's when we'll find out. That's when we'll know. Maybe. Fig says the timeline is hard to ignore. Yeah, the way all those dominoes fell, and plus they had Keegan Klein right from the beginning, and the whole ski mask incident. Yeah, there's just too much, too many dominoes. Jari says that man looks nothing like the posters to me. Kinda. Fig says, I think if any deal was made with KK, it will show up on the Delphi case, not the CSAM case. You don't think it'll fall under just like some kind of discovery, confidential informant? Yeah, because I mean, it can't really remain confidential in a court proceeding unless you're just using him as a confidential informant. You don't need him. You just need to provide the information about that person and how that person helped lead to the information that you have. And then that information will be what's presented in court. I think that's how a confidential informant works. Duke, what's up? I think the deal was the 5 charges that got dropped. Then they added 7 more when they found the other phone. I don't know. It could be that they tried to give him a deal, and then he may have lied about something in the Wabash, and they didn't find anything. And then they're like, okay, we can't make a deal with you on this because basically he lied to us. He could have been messing with law enforcement. And they're like, okay, well, now we got to put all the charges back on. But if you go back, it says it was Kagan's, idea. It was him that chose. He just wants to plead. But another thing that stood out to me was he didn't want to plead guilty until that witness list came out. So I'm wondering if he wanted to avoid that. Something about the witness list scared him to where he was like, oh, shit, I got to do something here. So there's a little bit of timing with that. The witness list was made public, and then like a few days later, Kagan's like, well, I'm going to plead guilty. I wonder if it was the Anthony Schatz guy. What was his name? The cop, the Alaskan cop. He's like, oh man, it's going to be it's embarrassing to see that guy's name on there. He's like, man, it's getting really real. Cold Truth says, quotations, and this is Doug Carter, you have just a little bit of conscience left. Probably a stretch, but he tried. Yeah, and it was very interesting. He said, what will those around you think? Like he knew that this person wasn't just some lonely drifter. He knew he had people. Divine Visions, what's up? Yes, if they think there's a connection with Stevenson case where the couple who killed were devoted Christians. Yeah, exactly. And that kind of brings me to this topic. Let's pull this up. This is just super random, and I thought it was interesting. We'll get your take on it. Okay, so I pulled up the Carroll County, Indiana Chamber of Commerce. Don't ask me why. And then I found the Delphi United Methodist Church. This is where they had the first press conference. Do you remember? So the rep contact information is for Sarah Cross, Micah Hudson, and Todd Ladd. And over here, there's a map. And I was like, okay, here's the Delphi Methodist Church where they had the press conference. You remember? Micah, get the lights. Remember that? Well, I was like, why do they have an arrow on Richard Allen's home here? So I clicked on this map here that they have, that they provided. And I was like, okay, they got an arrow on the Methodist Church. Why do they have an arrow? Then I was like, wait, that's not Richard Allen's house. They're saying that this is Micah Hudson's house. I was like, holy shit, he lives so close. He's got to have a few things to say. I mean, you got to know the guy that's like your backyard neighbor, right? So you got Richard Allen there. And according to this website, Micah lives right here. It's kind of nice. He lives right there by the church. Just walk. What do you just walk through here, huh? No, he probably still drives. Yeah, I thought that was crazy. So they have the first press conference right here. The guy who runs this church lives right here, and the guy they end up arresting is right here. If that's not hiding in plain sight, I don't know what is, guys. Fig says the 2019 press conference was boilerplate FBI theatrics. I agree too. Those behavioral guys. They are speaking to a profile. I did a parody of it. My silence of yeah, I remember that. Good video. Fig. Mark says, here's a question. Why did they release KK's second interview, but not the first? Well, they didn't release it. People got their hands on it. So yeah, it wasn't released. Yeah, I keep hearing the tail of the white car. There is something to back up the white car, because if you look on the satellite imagery that people have been able to get their hands on, I think Gray Hughes got it. A couple of other people were able to post it up. But yeah, you can see what appears to be a white vehicle. But I don't know. It could just be. I mean, I can't tell if it's even a car. It's the shape of a car, and it's white. And it's in the driveway. So. Michelle says, Judy Bodine, I think that's very plausible. The corn crib existence really surprised me. I think the better question is, I think it's torn down, and why did they tear it down? And if it is torn down, why did they do it right after the crime? Cold Truth says, I need a refresher retracing of the conservation officer taking his initial statement. Where did that come from? Let me see. I have an article here. See if I have it handy. Well, according to Wish, I guess I can quote it the best I can. A police source said they spoke with Richard Allen, and they kind of make it seem like it was the same day, but it could have been just around that time at outside of a local grocery store. Now, why would he be speaking with the conservation officer, and why would he be speaking with him outside of a local grocery store? Strange. There was a white car? I don't know that for a fact. Yep, that's 100% Tina. Says, I saw a video on YouTube. I think Becky Patty said Anna picked Liberty up on Sunday and took her to the park. That is correct. They all went to the park. Well, I think her grandfather dropped her off and then they went to the park. But yeah, she explains that whole situation. Anna even explains that situation in an interview. Hey, what's up, Freckle? Good to see you. Hey, Judy. Sleuth, was it 1:45 minutes after Libby's video the M&B guy was seen? Yes. An hour and 45 minutes. So they were seen at 2. They made contact with the bridge guy at 2:15, according to the information that we have that's been made public. And then just a few minutes before 4 p.m., witness reported seeing a guy on 300, which is where you can access the Mears lot, the cemetery, and get to Ron Logan's property or pull into the Mears farm there. Or if you want to head to the CPS building or even the Wilson Bridge. So he was seen somewhere there, muddy and bloody, appearing to have just been in a fight. So maybe it wasn't the girl's blood. Maybe he actually was in a fight, you know? They're like, hey, we're going to pay you. Bring these, we need you to do this, act like some kind of security guard. Bring them down here and we're going to do something weird. They get down there, they do something weird, but then it goes further, becomes extremely violent. And you got Richard Allen going, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Stop. And then somebody really kicks his ass. They beat the shit out of him. He really was in a fight. They unchamber his round, hand him his gun back. They don't even think about the unspent shell. He goes walking, and they make their escape. Maybe. I don't know. That's just a theory that kind of explains the unspent shell. Him looking like he was in a fight. But then again, the gun could have jammed. He could have been trying to intimidate. The blood could be from the victims, removing and staging. I'm just not sure. Micah Hudson is the leader of the Methodist Baptist Church. I believe he was kind enough to allow them to do the first press conference. But yeah, I found out today that he's like neighbors with Richard Allen. Man, I would like to talk with Micah and just ask him, like, man, what were your thoughts when you heard like this guy is the guy? He has to know him. I mean, I guess he doesn't have to. They're not like neighbors, but their backyards are basically connected. You could throw a football from one house to the other. You could just sit there and play catch if you wanted to. That's how close they are. Yeah, so I was looking it up on the commerce page, and he had his address and he had it listed on the map. And for a second, I thought it was Richard. I was like, why are they marking Richard Allen's home? Come to find out, it's not. But it's really close. So I mean, this dude's he's got to be tripping out. I wonder if they even went to church. What if they went to this church? Oh man, that'd be crazy. I doubt it though. Man, that'd be yeah, his mind's gotta be blown for sure. Ivy says maybe that's the religious tie. I don't know. That's a jump. Ivy. Interesting, but yeah, it is a jump. Wow. That's an interesting photo. Don't know how you would verify that though. They have to have a key search words that law enforcement has entered into the VCAP. Yeah, so what if they were frustrated? You know, they thought they were onto something. Keegan Klein was lying to them. You know, we're not going to make a deal. They get frustrated and they're like, okay, let's just go look through all of the files. You know, maybe it's time to completely start over. Let's look at everything. Judy says, I think we are going to see TK brought on charges. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but none of the evidence points at him, regardless of how much of a piece of shit he is. Attacking women, punching women in the face, biting people in the stomach, putting children's heads through toilets. Yeah, it's a good guy. But did he commit this murder? I don't see anything to point at that. That is so weird. Did they have a mobile command center set up in the grocery store parking lot? I hope so. That's a good theory. That's a good thought. Yeah, maybe they were set up like, hey, if you have any information, just come right here. We'll be over here. I watched the trailer for The Shack. It just looked like a religious movie. I don't know the significance. Yeah, it is a religious movie. The beginning is like a really sad true crime movie, and then it turns into this weird religious stuff towards the end. But it's definitely a religious movie. To me, it was just about forgiveness. You know, um, it's kind of like how evil breeds evil. You know, you commit a murder, or somebody commits a murder on one of your family members, and you become so enraged that you then commit another murder, right? So now evil has just doubled. But somehow through all of that struggle through pride and anger and suffering, you know, and your war against God now, you feel like God has started a war against you, so you then, you know, wage war against God. You took my child. It's just pure anger. Exactly what the devil wants, you know. He's multiplying the hatred, you know, corrupting more people, even the innocent. So through all of that, to me, the point was forgiveness. You know, you can find that if you take the ego out of things, um, kind of like God, you shouldn't expect to understand what God has planned for you. You shouldn't. You should just be focused on love and forgiveness, and that's what I took away from it. Fix says, just emailed you something, Sleuth, a post from 2019, which is still up. Someone pointing out the car at the CPS. I've been getting this email. None of them were as clear as the one you sent me. Um, what's up with the vehicle that's parked right there? Is that the one that Brad Heath was pointing out? Let me pull it up real quick. Maybe you can kind of direct me. Because the post says it's from September 18th, 2019. Okay, I just downloaded it. Let's take a look. Okay, what are we looking at here, Fig? Cold truth. How did the camera footage from Hoosier Harvest Store not pick up Richard Allen, but picked up some of the witnesses? Maybe they left that tidbit out of the AWA, or he ducked into that culvert tight by the curb. I'm not sure. The strange thing about that whole story is that Derek and Tara were sitting in a vehicle together. This is verified at the Mears parking lot right there where the girls were dropped off at 4 p.m. So exactly at 4 p.m., the exact same time that Muddy and Bloody Guy was seen walking on the 300, they were parked right there. So if he was walking down the street and seeing people parked, he may have cut through the Mears farm or cut back into the trail system, avoiding the cameras altogether. Okay, so this is, it looks like from Libby German and Abby Williams, Forensics and Evidence, Shirley Nanya, September 18th, 2019. And I've had people sending me this photo right here. Someone took this photo of this vehicle sitting across the street from the old DCS office at the beginning of this case. Is this the vehicle law enforcement is looking for? I put this information in my group. You can share it. Appreciate that. Hey, what's up, Ruckus? Ruckus Rocks in the house. What's up? Hey, Nora. So I wonder where they're taking this image from. Hey, what's up, Frank? Let me pull something else up. That way I can kind of get an idea of where the hell that they're taking that photo. All right, let's try this. Hey, what's up, Don? What's your opinions on Richard Allen's possible being at 2018 press conference, according to a video by Divine True Crime Vision? I have the HD photographs from that, from behind the scenes. I have about 20 of those images. He's nowhere in any of my images. James Lucas was there. He was interviewed and questioned by law enforcement, but they cleared him, apparently. I think he just looked a lot like the guy on the bridge, and people were like tipping him in, I think. Okay. So I'm going to try to figure out where they took. Now, did they take the image from across the street here? don't think so. It's almost like from behind. Let's see. Okay, so here's that building right there. So we got the angle pretty much, I think. Right? So why are they circling something that's parked across the street? They're circling something over here, but this isn't the CPS building. They're circling something like over here. Right? So here's the sign. So they're standing like over here. They're standing like right here. And they're taking a photo in this direction. So I don't know if they're if they're circling the sign, they're like, hey, look, this is where we're at. That might be what they're circling. But he's not parked at the CPS building. This looks like the vehicle that Brad Heath was talking about, right? The PT Cruiser looking vehicle. That does look like a PT Cruiser. It kind of looks like it's sticking out on the side here. See what you guys are saying in the chat here. Yeah, that's what this chat's good at. They'll break anything down. We're not afraid to say the first thing that's on our mind, even if it sounds crazy as all hell. Radar, what's up? Radar's in the house. Good to see you. That's Anderson's. Okay, and I think what they're trying to tell us in this image is where the guy was parked. So I think this is what they want us to focus on is the vehicle here, which is not at the CPS building, which kind of looks like a PT Cruiser with a purplish hue, which is also interesting. But it doesn't appear to be parked here. It's on the other side, right? Here, let's do this. See what else we got. Yeah, I really wish this image here kind of showed us what the hell was being circled. Not to mention, we be impossible to verify that this was even posted or taken at that time. So whoever took that photo or anybody has information, reach out to us. Okay. Look, it almost looks like you could have been at the Freedom Bridge. Mel, you want me to post that up? me put it up on the screen. What is this? Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was a few days after. Yeah, that's the same news report where they talk about the guy in black for the first time. Yeah, there was somebody like lingering out by the cemetery, and cops went out there and were like, "What?" Swooped on him, but it was just a family. Okay, guys, I think this is it. I think the picture was taken right here from the Freedom Bridge in this direction. What do you think? That seems like a good angle right here. Like maybe even standing right here. Because I don't know why the hell you'd be standing anywhere over here. But it looks like it captured the fence. And we can see that here. There's also a sign right there. So it went through the sign and captured the building in the background. Real quick. P says, Brad, he said there was never a car at the CPS building. Only, yeah, the one on the side of the road. And he said it looked like an old fishing car, like you would see an old fisherman, getting into that vehicle parked on the side of the road. He said that's what it reminded him of. All right, let me take a look. Whoops. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to help. I think this one's pretty good. I think this one gives us an idea. But let's take a look. Now, I don't know if it was taken from here. Maybe right here on the road, driving by. I think that's what Fig was trying to kind of point me in that direction. He thinks that it was taken from this road. That would make a lot of sense. Because I feel like you can see. I mean, I don't know. Is this 300 here? Is this considered 300? I feel like you can see it right here. So I feel they're behind that. So either on the road here, driving by, snap a quick shot for whatever reason, or you've taken a series of photographs from this location. And one of them happens to include. Now, where is this? Try to find out where this vehicle is. Okay, it looks like it's right where the road curves. See that? See the curve in the road? So the road curves, and right at this very point is where that same curve. Well, no, this is in the other direction. So are they facing towards the Monon Trail? Okay, they may be facing away. Yeah, where is this location? Because it looks like the curve turns to the left, so that means that they would have been standing somewhere over here, taking a photo in this direction, making the road curve to the left. Now, do we see all these trees and everything in the background? Okay, let's look at the trees. Would they have been this green? Look at how green these trees are. Hey, all you Indianians. Is this what the foliage looks like in February? I mean, this is looking pretty green. Maybe that'll put an end to this conversation. Because, I mean, that's looking a whole lot like a PT Cruiser, right where Brad Heath said he saw a vehicle. Looks a little too green, though. SP74 says definitely not February. Was it common for people to park at the CPS building and walk to the trails? From what I hear, yes. But according to witnesses and the probable cause affidavit, he was parked in a strange manner. Mel, let me take a look. Oh shit. Where'd you get that? Yeah, let me pull this up. Okay, what's going on with this one, Mel? Can you give us some background information on it? Hey, Shooter McGavin. Gonna meet you on the 9th hole. Wear something nice. Okay. That one looks totally different. Let me check though. I didn't really look at it that much. That looks like a Volvo. Is that a Volvo? What is that? Can't tell what that is. It looks like a Volvo. Yeah, that could be the same vehicle. Let me pull these both up. Yeah, they do look the same, and that kind of looks like the same spot. Hold on, give me a second. What's funny, cold truth, is I have the news clip for that too. But we are out of time. We'll save that for next time. But we're going to finish this little discussion here on these Vehicles. If this is the same one that's in the media clip, this is a few days after. I think it was maybe even a day after. But I could be wrong. I'll go back and check and I'll let you know. I'll shoot you an email. Okay. Now, which two are you trying to compare? Are you trying to say it's this one on the left or this one on the right? Because this one on the right definitely is parked differently. But can we get a little bit of background on this image here? What are we looking for? I know you guys were having a side convo. Brick with eyes. What does a fisherman's car look like? That's a bizarre claim. Not to me. To me, that's like an old truck, station wagon, you know. Because I mean, when I used to go fishing with my grandfather, he would just load up the station wagon or the old pickup truck. You know, something you can throw all your poles and your tackle, all your stuff in the back, nets, you know, whatever, buckets. Yeah, I just don't know what any of this means. It looks like those photos. This one looks accurate as far as the trees. And this looks like it's really close by. To me, this kind of describes what, and I don't know if this is the same or not, but this, I think I know what this is from. I have this video. Doesn't look like it's the same vehicle. They're parked a little bit differently. Both those SUVs are kind of up on the curve. This one's not. But what's strange is when I look at this here, and why would there be a photo of it? But when you listen to Brad Heath, when he talked with Gray Hughes, this is kind of, if the CPS building is right there in the background, and I'm not sure, I don't even really know where this is. It looks like that's 300, just past the Mears lot and coming towards the CPS building. But I could be wrong. I don't know what this is. But it kind of reminds me of what Brad Heath was describing in a way. But who knows? We're going to start wrapping this one up, guys. We have a members meeting later today. So any of you guys who are members or thinking about becoming a member, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to hang out with Mao Zedong. We don't agree on everything as far as Delphi, but I'm going to keep my ears open about Flora, take some notes, and we should have a really good conversation. We've been chatting a little bit back and forth, so hopefully that you guys don't miss that one. Can't wait. Once again, that's tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you are a member, don't miss it or catch the replay. Leave me a comment about it. Should be a really good one. We're going to do questions and answers, probably a little bit of back and forth on Delphi. But we're going to be approaching this one kind of with open ears and looking to learn something about the Flora case is the goal with this meeting. Hey, Digi. Is the photo reversed? I don't know. I have no clue what's going on with these photos. But it appears the one that's circulating about being Richard Allen's vehicle parked at the CPS building looks like the trees. They shouldn't have all those leaves on them the way they do in those photos in February. So that's really all I could take from that, or I have to offer anyway. And what I think is the angle. Looks like most likely from the street, maybe. Shooter says it's much more brown in the helicopter footage. Yeah, like zero leaves. Cold Truth says sent you a couple more. Yeah, Mel, could you let me know a little bit of history on those? I'm just coming in blind. I don't mind throwing them up on the screen, of course, but I just like to know what they are. Yeah, it looks really green. No leaves in February, at least not near that much. Yeah, it's like really green. Yeah, for sure. This one looks like the right time. This one right here. To me, that looks like February or nearby. Oh, we got a new member. A great addition to the Sleuth crew. Thank you, Mel. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Even if it is just because we have an awesome guest named Mao. Just kidding. Radar says, I believe he meant because they're all day. He thought like a fisherman would do. I'm going to have to go back and watch that. Let's talk about that. Let's do that. Let's all go watch that today at some point. Gray Hughes interview with Brad Heath. And that way I don't have to put it up on the screen and he'll hit me with a copyright. I don't think he likes me very much. But if you guys all go and watch it, then you'll know what I'm talking about. I think it's a 2021 interview. And then we can talk about that tomorrow. We'll kind of do a continuation. Frank Meist, Frank, you're already a member. What happened? Nope, I want it. Yep. Yeah, if you want to chime in, Mel, you're more than welcome. More the merrier. It's going to be a good one. I'm actually like really excited about it because we don't agree on a lot, and that's what I like. Because I want to further my understanding. You know, I don't have to be right, but when I am right, or when I assume that I'm right, you know, I will put up a fight, but I'm still willing to learn. Yeah, me too, Flags. So I'll see you there, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gail, hello. No green here in Indiana in February. Yeah. See, this looks appropriate. The other one doesn't. Our radar says good debate is healthy. Yes. And we will definitely show her the utmost respect. Right, guys? V Marie with the super sticker out of nowhere. Thank you. I love that. Thank you, Shooter. Cold truth. I like that you can debate like an adult, sleuth intuition, and you're not egotistical. Nope. I don't have a pony in this race. I just want justice, and I do not want this to happen to my family. I want to learn how to prevent this, and I don't want it to happen to anybody. And the fact that these types of crimes happen at all is extremely painful to live with. Maybe southern Indiana, but not north. In Delphi, no green in February. Thanks, Gail. Boston with the super sticker. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I really do. Growing Crazy says, yes, that's why we watch you, Sleuth. It's not a pride thing with you. It's really not. At the end of the day, my family is the most important thing to me. That's it. Yeah, okay. Interesting, good conversation. I didn't know where to begin with those photos. I've been getting sent like blurry versions of those. I don't know how to respond. I mean, if you can't verify the time, date, and who took it, I mean, we can talk about it till we're blue in the face and we still won't really know. Till that person is like, yeah, that's my photo. Oh, you're saying this one's still too green. Okay. So Gail's saying both are too green. You're saying this is more like March. I mean, this looks like a pretty sunny spot right here. I think there might be a little bit of grass. Yeah, who knows? Somebody out there handing out membership gifts? All right, guys. Uh, I want to give a big shout out to Cold Truth and Fig Solves for sending me those emails and participating in today's chat. I want to thank everybody in the chat for participating. If you're part of the replay crew, please just drop a comment. And I'm sure everybody who participated today will be happy to get back to you if your comment is directed at them. JJ, shout out to Michigan. Hey, what's up, Derek? How you doing? Yeah, sorry about that forever. All right, guys, we are going to get out of here. Once again, thank you very much. If you could hit the like button on the way out, it helps YouTubers out, guys. I don't know what it is. You hit that like, they think it's like something great and they start spreading it around. So if you can go ahead and fake it like it is something good, hit the thumbs up and it'll help out. And members, don't forget 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got a great guest. Will be a great conversation. Thanks for all the super stickers. You guys rock. New members, I'll see you guys later. Indy, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. All the support. Thank you. I love Rick Snay. He's a great person. Take it easy, guys.